There you go. Hey, Ag Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. It's finally summer break. I know some of you have probably been wondering where I've been at for the past few weeks. I haven't posted a lot of videos. I have been just trying to get through the end of school, making sure I was meeting all of my obligations there before I continued on with more of my posting here. So I'm going to do a couple of updates, and we're going to talk about a few things and look at a few plants, but I figured an update video would be a good one to start. So those of you that are wondering, yeah, it is, I think it's June 6th today. We wrapped up school. My last day of obligation was yesterday. I'm free for summer break, so get ready. There's going to be a lot more videos this summer. I have a lot more topics to talk about, a lot more things to look at, and a lot more things that you could do with your own garden this year. So one of the things I should probably do an update for is the petunia that we had lived through the winter. Now, petunias, and we're just looking at standard garden petunias, don't generally last through a winter. If you're in zone 8 through zone 10, they usually do just fine, and they'll come back year after year after year, and maybe don't even go dormant. But here where we're at in Lewiston, Idaho, we had a pretty cold winter. We had some temperatures down to -15, and they stayed there for a while. But what I've got down here is that petunia that I've been monitoring, and it's been doing okay. It's actually quite pretty. Again, this is a seed petunia, so this is not a patented variety. This is one that in the next few weeks I'm going to start taking some cuttings off of, and I'm going to show you how to do that process so that you know how to propagate your own plants. So let's take a little look at this plant. So here is the petunia. If you look in here real close, you're going to see last year's growth. So this is some of last year's growth in here. These are the last year's stems. You'll notice there's no leaves up here. And all of the foliage and all of the flowers that you see, that's all this year's growth. So this is a petunia that's been alive since most likely January of last year. That would have been about when it would have been planted as a seed petunia. They are a little slower growing. This is one that I was experimenting with to see if it was a variety that I wanted to carry with our greenhouse operation. I learned a little bit, like I got to start them much earlier. So this was kind of my test plant to figure out some cost savings ways for our high school students to raise plants without me having to pay royalty fees for all of our plants. So that was something I was working on. But this is a really nice purple. It's low growing, it's mat forming, and this one was winter hardy. So what we're going to do is, starting this week, we're going to take a few vegetative cuttings off of this, and I'll show you the whole propagation process on how we use rooting hormones and moist soil mixes and make our own cuttings. So we're going to see how this one survives through this next winter. I'm not going to do any special care to this. It's going to get water, it's going to get fertilizer, but I'm not going to do any winter protection on this. We want to see if it can last through a winter. And we'll make several cuttings, and I'll place them in different locations around my home, and we'll see how they do in those different locations. And that's really kind of what you need to do, is test it out in different locations, not just one. Like this location, maybe this is a microclimate which allowed it to survive, or maybe it was a snow cover. Whatever it is, we're going to experiment and find out. So this is one of the ones that lived through. And this guy right here is actually the second one that lived through. This was also a seed. So this one was a seed that sprouted up last summer, and I kind of like it. It is a really upright petunia. So this is a lovely pink. The purple one is actually just right behind it. But this was a seedling end of last summer, and it also lived through the winter. One of the neat things is, if we look right there, see if we can do a close-up zoom. Oh, where's my fingers? Yeah, right in there. Sorry it's not in the light. We do a close-up there. There's actually a seed pod there that started. So we're going to collect this seed. I'll put a little bag over it so that I know where to collect it. But there's a seed pod right there. There's a bud there. There's a seed pod there. And we'll collect that and see how that does. Because it's going to be crossed probably with the purple petunia in the back, because those are the only ones that would have been in bloom at the time for that to be fertilized. But those are our two perennial petunias, and we will do some experiments with them. I'll take cuttings of this one too. The upright habit of this one is very interesting. It's definitely not ground hugging, so it will be interesting to see what that seed does. But there you go. There is an update of our winter hardy petunias that we're going to experiment on and figure out if we have a variety here or a sport, or a sport is like a genetic oddity, to see if that's truly what's going on here. But anyway, as always, I hope you learned something today. Ag Teacher Thoughts, stay tuned for more videos, because there are more videos coming, and I'm going to try to post every other day or every day or multiple times a day. Anyway, you'll find out. But we're going to have a much busier summer this year, enjoying plants, talking about them, and seeing how this year goes. Hope you learned something today. Ag Teacher Thoughts out.